Danon, that's our 6 athletes. And some big names in there. And of course, Saki Kikuchi, fairly unknown. And we literally don't know what to expect from her here tonight.
Really don't know what to expect. And the thing that sort of stood out is she qualified in semi-finals very low. Essentially, she was one of the first athletes to go out, and therefore, theoretically, shouldn't have been the skate style. There's a lot of ways of looking at it, and it is a big part of the evolution of competition climbing. And now everyone's wondering, where is this style going to go next?
So let's watch Futaba here. She pushes off into a good start and then faces the direction she has to go. And she's going to tiptoe across. Finds the right foot, just the edges of the shoes in contact there, steadying herself, and then she'll set herself up for this jump. Out she goes, pops and down for her. We can keep saying that because the wall is dry. And yes, there's humidity in the air, sure, but that was a big pop down for her. So sets herself up once more. As the minute buzzer goes, she's not going to have, look at that crimping the edge of the wall. That is allowed.
That is allowed. I always love when athletes find a little thing like that.
Better from Futa. This is our first boulder as we look at this 3D diagram of it. Starts down there. Each green line indicates a different limb you have to start on. So 3 limbs on the right, 1 on the left. It's up to you which limb you choose. You go out left towards a fairly big jug, and then there is a hideous move in the middle, crossing through towards the zone. The top, there it is, no feet, as you'll notice, so Futaba turns. You can see the clock on the bottom right of your screen. That ticks down from 4 minutes. That's all the time the athletes have to complete this boulder. That was the starting position we talked about, up to the crimp. And the next hold is a jug. However, getting to it is easier said than done.
It's a deep, deep pocket, and she does find it there without a problem. Now, though, this is the more tricky part. Let's see what method she chooses to come through here.
Now, this high foot, to me, wasn't obvious when the route setters pointed it out. However, Futaba immediately reads it correctly.
She did put it up there, but she actually decided to match. So now she has got sort of her hands turned around and has to match fingers in a bad pocket, which she did do, so she is through.
Yeah, this boulder has potential. Now, watch out for those dual texture surfaces. Her left foot is on a no-tex, as I've decided to call it, so it's a slippy surface. She managed to deal with it well. Into the Gastons. Actually, not Gaston, sorry, into the side pull. And up to the top. This could be a flash for Futaba Ito, and it is. What a start for her.
Excellent. She'll be very happy with that. Very well-deserved flash. A bit of a mix, and it's a very interesting question to ask. And then there's the side of how personal it is to them. Then he might not want to talk about it. But for sure, it'll be very interesting to see Hannah Moyle's approach now that she's very suddenly been thrust onto this massive stage. How she is dealing with it.
So she goes upside down and inverted for this move up to the crimp. And I thought that this could be a bit of a struggle to get to the jug, but Futaba absolutely cruised it. So it'll be interesting to see how Hannah deals with it. Oh, popping off that right hand, but saving it.
Coming back to the block crimp as well. That is quite impressive. Now it'll be very interesting to see what method Hannah chooses through here, as she's quite well known for finding interesting things with her feet, finding a way of pulling on a hold you wouldn't expect.
Well, that's the method the route setters thought she would use, or the athletes would use through that sequence. It sounded so outrageous when they said it, but Hannah made it look good.
Yeah, and she's still on. So she's going to find herself a flash as well.
So up to the dish, into the side pull, bumps up, into more of a Gaston. Side pull again, top, and that is going to be a top as long as she can match it. And it is a match for Hannah Moyle. Another flash. And Hannah did what she needed to do. So look, it's all very... She waits facing the crowd, and that 4 minutes on the clock now starts to tick down as she turns and faces the wall. This is a boulder that she should feel fairly at home on, suit her style. Locks in that toe. Heel, toe hooking high and easily swinging through.
Showing the power there.
So which method is she going to use?
She's got the toe hook in.
It's the cross. And then drops into a heel, hooking that dish. High right foot and a big bump up.
Also going for the Gastons.
Now into the side pull, Miho Nanaka. One move away, snatched at it, got it, sorts her feet, has a moment and tops out.
Great save there from Miho Nonaka. That was amazing. She is shocked by that. On the shoes, because anything that gets in between the rubber and the hold is going to reduce your friction. And that could be the difference between you sticking or coming off.
Sure, you remember Xian So bursting onto the climbing scene with her lead prowess. And she was, for a long time, really mainly focused on the lead comps, but this year, she's done pretty much all of the boulder ring comps. Missed one of the Salt Lakes. 14th in her last comp, didn't make finals, so she'll be enjoying her return to the big stage here. Oh, out on the dual text hold.
Yeah, manages to make that stick.
So she's got a high left foot, right foot underneath, locked in with the toe hook. And taking a long time to rest in this position. This is perhaps her lead training coming through here a little bit.
That comes through so much in her climbing style. Everything very slow and controlled. She grabs a hold, and then she settles, she composes before going on for the next move.
However, she has wound herself up into an interesting position here. She's worked it out.
She has turned this 2-move boulder into 5 or 6 moves so far.
It's good to see her start again, resting and chalking up, making sure that she gets this done. Look at this style, it's incredible. It is like watching a lead climb. She had a rope on, I thought she'd be up on the top of the wall.
It's so different, but I find so interesting to watch as she just finds herself at top.
There we go, 4 out of 4. Strong start to the women's competition. Going to be fascinating stuff. The clock is ticking. She's taking her time to remind herself of what she read during the observation period. Big swing up, and she is a bit shorter, but gets it done.
Yeah, there was a discussion amongst the route setters, realizing that the height difference in the field was now very different with Saki Kikuchi involved.
So, matches the crimp. Interesting, that's new beta. Out to the left, big swing, but keeps it in. And now this reach is going to be hard. She's kicking off that volume to create the momentum with the swing.
There we are. Wow, that was all strength. There was no feet involved. She looked so comfortable coming through there.
Great job from her. Now she boosts up towards the hold and just sticks that with her fingertips. Into the Gaston. There is the cross-through move to the side pull, and the top's in sight. Pops up to it, and we see our first fall of the competition for Saki Kikuchi. She's going again. Again, that drop-down save with 35 seconds on the clock. She's going to have to motor here. Matches fingertips on that hold. And the big swing out better this time from her.
Now let's see this method again. This pocket she is on in the left is so poor. She just casually rotates her whole body around and under it.
She's got 15 seconds at 10, and that will not be enough time. So our first athlete fails to get to the top. Notice that smile on her face. Always present. She loves climbing and uses that smile just to hype herself up. Positive attitude as she goes upwards. So Natalia matching on that hold.
There we are. There's the hang and the chalk up.
So she hangs off again. Similar style to Xian So. That right foot on a dual text.
Really mixing it up here. Good with that right heel, though, to drive her body left into this poor pocket, just that she could get under it and make it work. That was very impressive.
Yeah, she was upside down there. Had it almost stood in her own hand to get through that move. So right foot twisted in the pocket, locking off again. This is Natalia's flash attempt. First go. Gets it, holds it for a sec. Look to drop flag her feet. And that is a flash for Natalia Grossman.
Was to be expected.
So she finishes things off. And that is boulder number 2 in the background. So Natalia Grossman in first position. Xian So second. Miho Nonaka, Hannah Moyle, Futaba Ito, and then Saki Kikuchi not managing atop. But as
both those holds on the lower side of that left volume are very poor. So you have to generate some momentum and pull off those to carry yourself up to this blue volume, this blue macro on the upper side of the left volume for attacking the zone. And then you've got another tricky coordination movement.
to see if the conditions have affected this move, because it is a little bit friction dependent. So here we go. She'll have to launch up to the right, gets herself set. Straight away. It's blocked down at the bottom just to make it a little bit more of an awkward position. No mistake this time from Futaba. But no feet either.
They're all going to try the same thing, or maybe we're going to see another method here.
This was a boulder that the route setter's staying on the hold. You know, it's one of those. Oh, it makes me go cold.
Quite the script there, man. But very, very accurate. Very accurate.
Yeah, I think it sums it up nicely.
Yep, very much so.
So Futaba Ito will leave no top and no zone. That mat will be essential during this climb. And let's see now, will Hannah Moyle have read this boulder the same way as Futaba Ito and try to stop on that first hold? And it is, but she's made it work. That's interesting.
Made it work, and an athlete so talented at getting her feet up. So there she is, fine with the foot up.
Well, she's smashed the intended beater there, completely knocked it out of the park. Heel hooks, and then into the crimps, and both of us, I mean, we didn't like the look of these crimps, did we?
No, they are not inviting crimps at all.
So swinging around, holding herself.
Hannah Moyle now is looking at a second flash. Can she stick? Can she get the foot up? There we go.
She is. Well, Futaba Ito. I mean, we thought it might be condition dependent. Perhaps not.
Goodness, the German.
And fair play to her. She has the time to use. So that's our leaderboard down the bottom. Hannah Moyle with that flash jumps to the top position. And of course, oh, see, that's more of the intent. So Miho back on again, 40 seconds now. And you have to, 14, 12. We're nearing the end, and I think that's going to be it for Miho Nanaka. It is the end. She didn't want to go, did she?
Not pleased.
So a bit of disappointment from Miho.
Some frustration.
A lot of the athletes climb barefoot, but actually Saki Kikuchi had socks on during her run, which is fairly unusual up at this level. So, Xian So rotating, and a static method, 2 minutes now. Sitting in third position. Oh, that's better. Readjusted.
Something like sandstone, which can break when it gets wet.
She's done that method again. Having them off out the side.
Climbing on while they're there.
Oh, but that's better. And she holds it. I just bringing that right hand through just immediately throws her off balance.
Yeah, that's exactly what's happening. And if she does make that work and wants to go up to what our big-named athlete tonight, Natalia Grossman, will make of this boulder.
Just looks dramatic in that slow motion. Lead, not boulder. Be interesting to see what she does. 10 seconds left. Oh, that was better, but she's not going to have the time.
Big pop off there. Fortunately, not able to make this very interesting battle coming up.
Natalia is taking her time on this bottom sequence. She'll know, I think, that Hannah flashed it, and she'll be wanting to get this done. This is an important moment. And she's staticked it, holds it for a moment, brings the left foot up high. This is very dangerous stuff, right up. And now she starts to crank upwards towards the blue hold, and then she's on a little bit of a safety point here.
Very impressive there. You could see her fight for that. I could almost imagine Hannah Moyle was in her eyes, that she's not letting that athlete get ahead of her.
So Natalia, though, still needs to keep it together. That left crimp is awful. Right hand swinging for a sec. I thought she was off there. Matches, and then she should be able to get the top, but pops her feet. Juggling with the arms, brings the right foot up again. And I tell you what, that was a fight. But Natalia Grossman, I mean, that's what champions are made for, to push through those moments.
Exactly. This is an athlete who came here to win.
So results, Natalia Grossman leading the way. Hannah Moyle second, Xian So third.
Good. So you see the people getting on, but the next one, all of a sudden, from here, looks almost the same. It's very much not the same. Much more slopey angle, much harder to stand on, so they must move dynamically across to get these zone holds. And then the top, from the description we got from the setter, it's...
She's going to have to launch if she wants that zone. It's not going to be enough time for Futaba Ito. Interesting.
Interesting. Funny how, without
looks at the wall, rubbing her bottom of her foot. Try to get any moisture off. There's the towel, same thing. So pressing upwards to start off with, palming down. That's not the starting position yet. It will only be there. That's the starting position, so now she can continue climbing. So same method as before, slowly does it to get into position for the jump. Holding her breath almost. Ah, now we see that.
Whole foot down, using as much surface area as possible to just stick on this exceptionally poor foothold. I wonder if she's going to try that again and reach further.
Yeah, it shows how good she is with her feet. The fact she had a huge foot pop and then fully trusted the foot the next go.
Yeah, that is a very, very good skill in climbing.
There it is. You can see how little of the rubber's on. Better from Hannah Moore, and she does stick the zone. That came from nowhere. So third go, and she's looking like she might top, but watch this final hold. It's a sloper, but no problem for her.
That was amazing. That was so cool to see. That jump across, she wasn't quite in control, but her...
Miho Nanaka is on. What can she do? Has another look at the sequences. She'll be aiming for that zone hold. Pushes up. Ooh, but a bobble, and that will count as an attempt to get into the first position.
It's not what she wants, considering how this has just been done in 3 attempts.
So pressing up this time. But she will have an awareness now of how slippery these holds are from that pop. Out she comes, pressing against the edge of the wall, palming. You can't use those screw holds on the wall itself.
So interesting to see how close you need to have your face to the wall. That camera angle really does display how careful you have to be to not scratch your chin.
Look at that, crimping the edge. So right foot out. We know how much rubber you need, and look at that good technique from her, similar to Hannah Moore in terms of positioning. Here's the moment. Pops out and round, and that
made connection with it. One of a few factors that sort of broke down in this highly coordinated movement.
So she goes again. Look at that clock. Time flies on this boulder because of the slowness that she has to have moving through it. Eyes it up again. Composes herself. Focused on this next move, waiting for her body to feel in balance before she starts going. Rocking back. Look at that patience, and oh, that was cool.
That was off swing. That was past the point of no return, and she was coming off.
So Miho, once again, the patience that she showed in that moment to wait while that clock, and she's facing the clock. It's on the right-hand side of her, so all the time she's watching it tick down. Better, closer.
Really not a lot of time now. Not what she wants, because she knows she has the capacity to do this boulder.
18 seconds coming up. You can see the movements quite quick, but we saw what happens if you get it wrong. 10 seconds. It's only going to be time for a zone, surely. And there's the pop, and that's the end of Miho's boulder. Such a frustrating final for her.
Such a frustrating final.
Let's look at these first moves. Feet dried off as she starts the press upwards to begin things. There's the hold. Oh, and it's a
centimeter further out they come, you will be lost. It's much better to actually stand at a point on the hold further away from the wall. So deeper down that hold, that means you've got more room to throw the hips into the wall as you come across. But obviously, none of the athletes are doing that, which indicates how bad this foothold is.
So Xian So, some classical music there in the background. Works her way across. Minute 46. Wow, that time goes fast. So this is where her foot popped before, and she takes less.
Is the confidence.
Yeah, and 10 seconds to go. She can't move that slow again. She is up. She's going to be timed out here. 5, 4. That is it for Xian So. She knows it. No zone again. Low scoring round here, apart from Hannah Moyle, who's got 3.
It is actually an incredibly, very, very high stakes round so far.
Fixed by Ito. Didn't. So yeah, a top would be important for her. Let's see. Pressing upwards. Good start from her. Spinning back down, not finding that balancing point.
Unfortunately, because everyone flashed the first boulder, the top would need to be in less attempts for Saki Kikuchi to catch up with the other athletes. But if she does find one, then she's still in the running on the final boulder.
So that's what's at stake for her. Foot down as we zoom in on the face, and it looked like she almost slipped and decided to go then. I think she thought about a brush. Running, big running start. All the way in, 15. If she can get the zone though, we know that the top is just one simple pop away, but she's only got 10 seconds to do it. Clock's in front of her. Out she goes. It's not enough this time. So Saki still stays down, and so she checks her shoes before she goes. Just extra drying it there to make sure.
Really interesting to see. We know this is a learned movement, but how does one of the world's best athletes get through a learned movement?
So Natalia pushes up. Awkward start this.
Fortunately, that right foot is so high for her. Very difficult to pull up and right, and you can see she was afraid to bring that left foot off and lose an attempt, so making sure she's in the right position before she goes, wow, very careful, and comes off the
friction in it. Struggling, a little uncomfortable on the start here. Crimping.
Issue with height. This may be the answer why we saw Saki Kikuchi doing that running jump at the end.
So Natalia pushing up, better from her. I don't think she'll have a problem, or less of a problem next time. Look at that toe scrub down the bottom. Getting stood up, and then watch this right foot, as much rubber as possible. She goes for the more horizontal method, but drops back down. She'll want to readjust that left foot. That's why she's doing it. And you can see bumping in again, which means she can move her right foot further out. Oh, hello, into the zone very quickly for Natalia, and now, yeah, fair play. So one move to the top now, don't drop it. She double matches it, and I think Natalia Grossman is showboating here on boulder number 3.
That was very, very impressive. So much control. She was able to lead her. It actually might come down to nerves on the crux.
So Natalia Grossman in the top spot. Hannah Moyle second, keeping the pressure on, and Sheon So with the bronze medal position.
Standing out here is these two opposing yellow sections of volumes, and in order to get through that, the athlete is going to have to push against both sides, creating a bridge while keeping their body weight into the corner, and then you can see the top is not close, so it can be a little bit of a...
She gets going. Let's see what happens here. So she'll look to get the heel in, does, and then she'll smearing on that volume, and that's that wraparound move with the right hand. Kicks her legs back. Good climbing so far. She'll jam that toe into the flared crack. Gets the zone. Great from Futaba. Now, this is the shoulder press. Doesn't need it. Forget the shoulder press. She'll just use her feet instead. Right foot down. And then she'll be looking to go towards that crimp, that side pull on the edge, and then it quickly becomes all about the jump. But this position, awkward at the moment.
Always strange in those positions when your leg is bent all the way down. It's hard to extend down.
So left hand up to the side pull, bumps the left foot, upgrades the right into a better position. But look how far that jump is. It's a full body length up there.
It's not close, and the big factor is how far out you come.
So she springs, holds it, and that is the terrifying fraud.
Utilize, not one that they're training very regularly, so we might be seeing a bit of a mix-up here.
All right, well, if your hands aren't sweaty if you're watching at home, they should be now, because we know what's coming. So Futaba jamming in that toe once more. High left foot, pressing upwards, and she needs to work away. Look at that deep breath, yeah.
Determination. Does want to get a top here. and it could put her in a very healthy position of getting 3rd place.
So, foot on the back of the wall in this Egyptian move. Chalking up with her fingers.
Not quite comfortable yet, but good space to maneuver and keep trying different options.
She needs to get to the side pull first of all. She's reaching it out, pushing with the right foot in order to get her left hand involved. Okay, so here we go. Wish her luck. Sets herself up. Crowd are hyping her up, and she needs every bit of hype she can get because this is it. She took that nasty fall. Can she nail it this time? This is the moment. And she can't. Spirals down. She's okay. Sits again like a cat landing.
That is
If she can do this quickly, she'll put all the pressure on Natalia. But Natalia won't know, of course. This is us knowing the scores. Natalia will just know she's got to do it fast. So,
do it fast. And we are just introducing this big question into the system with the scary movement at the end. What are athletes going to make of it?
So Hannah Moyle again with the right foot in the crack, swings the feet out, presses upwards, and she needs to get as much height as possible on this to make the jump less far. So pressing outwards in that position, finds the screw on with the right foot.
Really good use for flexibility here. Not so much trouble getting up to the last move.
So her heart will be beating in this moment. Oh, nearly popped the right foot though. Bumps the left a little higher. That's the right foot. That's what she's going to be springing off unless she goes a bit higher. She sets herself, swings. Oh, thank goodness, a better fall. She's still smiling.
Through the time, this could be the big attempt for her now.
Yeah, true. It goes so fast, you're right. So gets the right foot in, swings out. Presses her way through. So much shoulder strength in this move. And she'll be safer with the right foot when she gets the screw on. There it is, and now she can just rest for a second and chalk up. That's the left foot. Steering on the wall.
It's a very liberal use of the term rest, because the tension in her hips, her legs, her core right now, very, very high. And as much when you say the word rest, it's a bit of a rest for your brain, and she's not getting that right now.
Yeah, it's uncomfortable for her. So here we go again. She had a more controlled swing last time. Can she nail it? She does nail it. Hannah Moyle, all she needs to do is match, which she does, and that is the top for her with a minute to go. 4 out of 4 for Hannah. She's done everything that she can possibly do, and that will leave her for sure up there in the medal positions. But will it be gold here tonight in Innsbruck? She's sitting in 5th. She got that first top, but then nothing for all of her efforts.
Is it only a 4th is possible for her? I might have miscalculated before.
Dana will have a look at scores for us as we watch this action. So holding on to the volume, up to the screw on, foot jammed in the crack. And this will be her first zone in a while. Gets it. And that's bumped her straight up to 3rd. So there's possibly a medal here. Pushing backwards. This position we, nearly pops off with the left. And you can see, yeah, you're right, when I said rest earlier, clearly not a rest. Full tension required to hold her there.
It is a rest on the arms, but not the rest.
Yeah. So Miho might just want to get those feet a bit higher. She's left herself a big jump to go here. Prepares, sets, up, and it's a fall down.
3rd place.
Here we go. Miho Nanaka comes up, matches. She knows these moves will find them easier the second go. Out to the zone first of all, not jamming the right toe in the crack this time. Pushing up with the right foot and the left palm. Will try to find that screw on. Still hasn't quite got it, but it's enough. Left foot on the left volume. Easily into the side pull, but now it's time to jump again as the minute mark ticks through. Upgrade, very high right foot.
Very high means less jump up, more swing to the left.
Up she comes, and she does hold it. Oh, but she needs to match. Drops the feet back down. Tenses the body and makes the top. And that has done big things for her potential medal positioning.
Quite happy with that. Again, one of those athletes.
15 seconds gone. Only a couple of goes really needed on this boulder. She's down in 5th at the moment. Top might bump her up. Let's see.
Big reach for her here, fully extended on that heel.
Yeah, it's a long way. So she gets the left toe onto the wall, holds the swing up into the crack. But there's not a lot going on there. Heels it. Oh, and then misses. So Miho Nanaka is guaranteed the bronze because of attempts. So Xianso does not know that, so she'll obviously keep on pushing. Right foot jammed in the crack. Comes up into the zone. Left foot up. Matches as she pulls herself into this chimney-like feature. Rotates that right leg down, and that's what she's working with the handholds. Not a lot.
Very interesting now to see what is she going to make of this last move. This climber famous for static movements, now about to do something very high, very scary.
Yeah, this will be out of her comfort zone, and I haven't seen her do a jump like this before. Let's see if she can see what kind of a dino she is.
Doing a move like the last move we have here is so much more difficult, mentally speaking, when you're also tired.
So swings out, matching the volume, pops up with the right hand, gets the toe in, and 28 seconds to go. She's gonna run out of time here, and I think she might call it. She does. So Xianso, that's a no-go, which means we move to our final 2 athletes of the evening. Saki Kuchi is up next from Japan. It's all very 3D.
Very 3D, always interesting to see that third dimension really changes climbing.
High heel to Saki as she comes up to the volumes. Round the edge of it, wrapping with the hands.
You can see how she turned into those toe hooks. She's not one of the taller climbers, so had to utilize different method to get through there.
Creating a bit of swing here. Interesting, she'll kick really high. That's really good beating through there. And then presses, and this is the shoulder that actually we were told by the route setters would be necessary for this. There it is, palming down into it, and into this very awkward place. Facing the wrong way at the moment, she'll need to turn.
Again, one of the smaller athletes, she's actually more comfortable in this closed chimney position. She's not fighting against her own limbs to find some space, and able to utilize a very different method to get up in there.
Good work from her, but then suddenly you realize the distance on this jump, that's a long way. So she'll need to get the feet as high as possible. That is a massive jump for her. So she sets herself, and that wasn't bad. Now, wraps herself around the volume. Holds the swing. And she's going to do the same thing. Flows around, gets the left feet up, right foot into the zone in this awkward move that we saw before. Head around, you don't want to slip in that position. Pushing now onto the screw-on.
High risk left foot there, needs to make sure it doesn't roll too far away, but she is up and through.
Yeah, same positioning, isn't it? Facing the wrong way and then turning to face the right direction, but popping that left foot. Works the rubber in, resting in a split. Making sure she's not pumped, because there was a lot of movements in that, a lot of physical moves.
A lot of big body twisting, very core intensive movements.
Up she comes, easily into the side pull. The clock, though, is 20 seconds on it. She needs to time this well. This will be her last go at this jump. Eyes it up, into it, and no, that left hand coming off the hold. Very difficult to hold it.
Left hand away.
So Natalia Grossman needs to do this quickly. Up she comes into the heel. Straight into the triangular volume. I think it's 2 attempts now. So even less time. Out into the zone. Left pressing against the wall. Pushing upwards. Brings the right foot back. Heel pressed into it. There's that right foot drilled in now. Natalia battling, similar position to Saki just now. Now the right foot's on the screw-on, left out to the side pull. She takes a moment to rest in the non-rest. Here we go, everyone. If you're cheering at home, I hope you're screaming at the screen because this is a big moment. Up she goes, holds it, and this, if she can match, will be a gold medal, and she can. Natalia Grossman, was it ever really in doubt, takes her 5th of the season. She knows it. From Maringin onwards, that has been a clean sweep for the USA athlete Natalia Grossman. And Hannah Moyle fought her all the way. Futaba Ito, she took that huge.
Japan, Miho Nonaka.
Miho Nonaka comes up. She had an up and down final. Just showed that grit that it takes to win multiple medals. Didn't give up, kept pushing.
Did come down to the last move of the last boulder.
She receives her flowers in the medal. Another one to add to her vast collection.
What a thrill in the final.
Next up, this lady Hannah Moyle came so close to taking victory here tonight. Her time will come one day. She'll have to have another silver and 2 silver medals in a row. If you'd asked me a couple of weeks ago, I wouldn't have predicted that. Hannah Moyle, her 2nd silver.
She is an athlete that is actually a bit more trained towards leads, so it could be very interesting to see how her performance turns out in the next competition.
She'll be happy with that. Great night work from her. And what a way to end her Boulder final, her Boulder season.
And finally,
so here is Natalia Grossman,
the lady
her
who topped
5th gold of the year. Natalia Grossman.
Qualification, semi-final and the final tonight with 3 flashes on the 4 final boulders. First place, gold medalist and winner of the IFSC Climbing World Cup Boulder Innsbruck 2022, representing the United States of America, Natalia Grossman! Congratulations!
Well, the athletes have received their medals, and now it's the turn for the national anthem.
I know that everyone stands.
As Natalia Grossman
Stand, please rise.